Okay, welcome back. So we're 3 videos in. This is the third, obviously. So we're still with a druid. So we're doing Resto Druid now. We're going to leave balance till last because balance is going to be a cool one. So what are we looking at? We're looking at the best progression of gear, like the best path you can take. What heroics do you need to focus on? What reputations do you need to focus on? All the quests. There might be some quests that give good gear that you want to, they're going to get you into Karazhan. That's the aim of this video. Telling you what gear you want to get so you can go in Karazhan and do the absolute best DPS or the best healing or the best tanking. Pull your weight when you go in for that progression raid. So you may have noticed 3 videos in I'm wearing exactly the same clothes every time. That's because I pre-recorded all of these intros for the druid before actually putting any real content together. So great. Anyway, make sure you like, subscribe, check out the giveaway. Let's get cracking. Okay, so we won't hang about, but before we get into the gear, just apologies really. I wanted to get this video out yesterday, but I've been spending a bit too much time on the Endless server, so if you know what that is and you play on it, then feel free to message me on Discord. We've got quite a few of us from Classic on there now, but some of us are just leveling still, or some of us are already 70 and working on getting geared, so we will be raiding, etc. So yeah, definitely get in touch if you're on there. But that side, we'll get into the gear. So this was really difficult to do, I'll be honest with you. The reason being, you've got access to leather and cloth as a healer, as a Resto Druid, so it's really... you've got so many choices. For me to try and whittle it down to 3, you might look at some of the slots and be like, well, this item is far better than one of them that I've put down, which could be the case in certain slots. But I'm not necessarily giving you the best 3 items for each slot. I'm giving you the sort of easiest obtainable items that don't skimp on quality. So that'll be tailoring BOEs or even BOPs if you are a tailorer. Level working BOEs or BOPs if you're a level worker. Same for engineering for the head, obviously. But then throwing in some quest items that you'll just get along the way while you're leveling, quests that you don't want to miss, and what sort of heroics and what reputation you want to be focusing on, as well as maybe 1 or 2 badges of justice gear. Because the whole idea of this is to be able to try and get into Karazhan in week 1 or 2 of dinging. So a couple of weeks where you're farming your reputations, the rest of your guild might be recruiting or getting to 70, that sort of thing. So, but yeah, we'll get straight into it. So, prioritising stat wise, we're going for loads of plus healing, spirit, because spirit's technically better than MP5 because of Tree of Life form. Then we're going for MP5 after spirit, but you just naturally get spirit or MP5 on gear anyway, so it's not much of an issue. And then intellect, but intellect is not actually as required as it is in Classic at the moment, purely because of the regen, especially if you're playing a Dream State Resto build, which I'll get into that in the actual Resto guide that comes after these gearing series. So heads, White Mend Hood, so it's got lots and lots of plus healing, mana per 5, sockets, it's a solid head that comes from tailoring, and it is only a BOE, so yep, really good head. Then we've got the Watcher's Cowl, which is literally just from Scenario and Expedition Revered, which if you play other specs, so let's say you want to tank now and again or heal, mix it up a little bit, maybe play a bit of a Heart of the Wild spec where you can tank or heal. So you might go for Exalted with Scenario and Expedition anyway to get the Earth Warden weapon, which I think most druids will want to get anyway, even if it is only for off spec. So I thought Watcher's Cowl was worth mentioning because it's a decent head and just comes from Revered, which you're going to want to get Revered as well, so you get the keys to do the heroics. So it's more or less a free head. So yeah, really good there. And then obviously the engineering goggles, which are also very good, but it relies on you being engineering. So for this, we're actually going to go with, because I just think it's going to be the first decent head that you probably come across if you're not engineering, and it's not going to break the bank by having to go for the tailoring one. So we're actually going to go with Watcher's Cowl. So we'll put Watcher's Cowl on it now. And it looks awful. So you probably want to hide your head slot when you're in game, because yeah, I wouldn't really want to be looking at that much. Okay then, and then for the next, so we've got Carrier's Medallion, so that's just from a Neverstorm quest, quite easy to obtain. Same for Natasha's Guardian Cord, again very easy to obtain, just a Blade's Edge mounting quest. And finally the Jewel Crafting BOE. So all decent necks. As I say, there's loads and loads of others you can get. I'm just trying to create a nice well balanced set of options for every slot. Yeah, so for these, really just take your pick.
So for the next, just whichever one you want to use, or any alternative that has similar healing power. There's not really a lot more to say about that. So because we're not specifically equipping our character on screen at the moment with a neck anyway, just take your pick. But the dual crafting one is probably the easiest, laziest option, because loads of people will be leveling dual crafting because it's a new profession. So there won't be a shortage of these dual crafting items. So moving on to the shoulders. So again, clear winner, Primal Mooncloth shoulders, but this is now bind on pickup. So this would rely on you being tailoring. So these are going to be the ultimate best healing shoulders that you can get for quite a while, to be fair. So, they would be my recommendation, but you might not be tailoring. So the other options are hallowed pauldrons from Shadow Labs. So it's not heroic Shadow Labs. It's a nice alternative. It's got a couple of sockets, good healing. If you're not a tailor, perfectly fine to use these. And then Mantle of Autumn from Botanica. Again, not heroic, just normal. So you may even get one of these sets before you even hit level 70. And they'll carry you into Karazhan absolutely fine. So for this, I mean, we're gonna assume that you're not tailoring, because odds are you're gonna be engineering or alchemy for the trinket, or I don't think there's gonna be many druids that are tailoring. So we'll put hallowed pauldrons on, and we'll go with that for this set. Well, I mean, they look a little bit better than the head, but yeah, still not great. So good, that shoulder's out the way. So we'll move on to the capes. So we've got Life-Giving Cloak, which is just a BOE world drop. It's great, plus healing and mana per 5, and it's only a BOE, so odds are somebody's going to get it drop and put it on the auction house. So, if you're stacked with cash, then you're going to probably want to get this. Another tailoring BOE option is the White Remedy Cape. Lacks of stats, but still got decent plus healing, and it's crafted by a tailor. So again, should be quite easy to get hold of. I'm sure you can have a tailor in your guild who's not going to mind making you this. Then we got one from a quest, so a quest for Shattered Halls. So I'll put the Horde and Alliance version of the quest on screen so you can see it. But again, perfectly good. Cape just comes from a quest, so worth a mention. Any of those three really, and you'll be absolutely fine. So but for this, we'll go for Life-Giving Cloak. We'll assume you've gone for the I've got loads of cash option and got the Life-Giving Cloak. So we'll put that on now. Oh, look at that. I mean, she starts to look really good now. I wish I wasn't so sarcastic. Anyway. Okay, so then chest. So if we're saying you're a tailor, then you're going to want to make the Primal Mooncloth robe. I think, personally, it is worth going tailoring as a Resto Druid in TBC, because you're going to make some really, really strong pieces of gear. BOEs and BOPs. You're more or less going to half fill your character just with your profession. So, and on the basis it doesn't need a secondary profession to carry it, then you're open to do whatever else you want. If you want a bit of gold making profession, you could go herbalism or something like that to enable you to fly around and make gold. Or you could go alchemy, and have an alt as your gatherer, but or whatever, however you want to go. But still, I think tailoring would be worth considering. We're not going to put that chest on because, as I said before, we're going to assume that you're not a tailor. So then you've got the level working chest, which again, that's very nice as well. So 3 sockets, crit, damage, and then more healing and more damage. It's quite a cool set, and it's good if you want to do a bit of boomkin. And actually, to be fair, if you do go the Dream State build that I mentioned earlier, then you have actually got solo farming potential. So to be level working and make these sort of items, that would be really cool. You're going to be alright. You're going to be able to go around and actually do damage with this set, as well as use it for your main spec healing when you're in raids. So yeah, quite cool. It's worthy of a mention. And then we've got Life Warden's breastplate, which is literally just from a Neverstorm quest. So we already said you're not tailoring, but I really like the Windhawk Hauberk. Just really a bit of a tongue twister, that. So I like that chest. So we're going to say that our character is level working, actually, because if you've watched my other videos, then you know how strong level working is for druids anyway. So to make your tanking gear and to make your feral DPS set, I think level working will be a really strong profession, certainly for the first tier of raiding. You might get rid of it, by tier 5, but definitely to start with, it's going to be really good. So we're gonna put Windwalk Hauberk on our little druid here. Lovely, we're tearing through this. So now, bracers. So we've got Bind into the Time Walker. So these are from Getting Exalted with Cavern of Time. There's not really many options for reputation besides if you're going to try and get sort of Earth Warden for your other specs and you go Scenario and Expedition, so then you get the head that we've equipped on here and stuff like that. I mean, the Keepers of Time, you're going to get exalted with all of these factions eventually anyway. It's just where you're going to focus your efforts to begin with. So I'm not going to equip this character with Bindings of the Time Walker, even though they are ultimately the best. We're gonna go down the level working route, and we're going to say that you're going for the level working bracers as well, because you're going to go for the full set, obviously. So we're going to go with a Windhawk bracers, but another worthy mention is the Golden Vine wraps, and that's purely because you will literally get these at about level 64, 65 if you do dungeons, because it's just from an underbog normal dungeon quest. So, but again, them Golden Vine wraps are really nice. They'll get you into Karazhan, but we're going for that Windhawk set because of its solo potential as well as really nice stats for raiding, so we'll put that on now. Okay, then moving on to the hand. So we've got Gloves of the Living Touch, again, level working BOE, and these are ultimately the best. So look at all these items we're getting just from our profession. I mean, it makes perfect sense to be level working, don't it, as a druid, really. But the other ones that we're gonna mention anyway, even though you know already before I say it, we're gonna go for Gloves of the Living Touch. You've got Gloves of Preservation, which is from a quest, and this quest in general has got quite a lot of good rewards. So you can only pick one of them, so you need to be quite careful which one you pick, because I've actually mentioned this quest maybe 2 or 3 times because all of its rewards are really good. So we're going to skip that and assume that you've took one of the other items anyway, but we're going for the level working hands. And then the other one is just from Avatar, so Heroic Orkanai Crypts. It's a bit better. It's a bit better than the Gloves of Preservation, obviously, but more difficult to obtain. But what's not difficult to obtain is going around doing a bit of farming, getting yourself a Primal Nether, and then making these gloves. So that's what we're going to go for. Let's bang them on now. So then the belts. So we've got Primal Moon Cloth Belt, which, yep, it doesn't even need saying that is ultimately the best healing belt you can get. But we're not a tailor, but we are a level worker, so we're going to use Windhawk Belt, which is still a very, very strong belt for 2 specs. Like I said before, the solo potential of this set and everything is really good. But I will mention the Sleeper's Cord, because this is also just very easily obtainable. So if you're not tailoring or level working, it drops in Arcatraz. It's only Arcatraz normal, so you may get this more or less quickly, as soon as you ding 70 more or less. So yeah, really good. But we're going to equip the Windhawk Belt. Well, so she's nearly dressed, and in case any of you wonder why I left a tabard on, it's purely because I didn't want all you boys getting excited over a naked night elf. So I thought I'd better keep the tabard on, so I don't have to give this an 18 rating or something. But anyway, so legs, absolute clear winner, quite clearly, is the Cerulean Skirt. It's only a BOE world drop, so they'll probably be very expensive because they are very, very, very good pair of legs. But you do want it. There's lots of options for leg slots, like too many. So, and I can only pick 3, so again, I just tried to pick a good balance. But the number ones will be these BOEs. So again, if you've got loads of gold, then this is the route you're going to want to go. But you've also got Pants of the Naru, which is just from a quest. So 77 healing, good amount of spirit, stamina, and int. So nothing wrong with those. They'll get you into Kara. And then you've got the Pontifex Kilt as well, which is from Heroic Steambolts. So 3 sockets, 66 healing. Again, another good option, but really, the BOE is what you want to get, and that's what we're going to equip now. Yeah, not the best looking legs, really. So moving on to boots. So boots are the pious, are the clear winner, but obviously you're going to need a bit of luck getting these. They're from Heroic Mechanar, so you probably will get them before you go into Kara. If you're dedicated enough, but there's a good chance that you won't, because it is largely going to be luck based whether you get these or not. So you got Curate's boots from the Fell Embers quest, which again, I've said they give some really good rewards, so you've got to be careful what one you pick. The boots could be a very good option from these, because the rest of the boots really come from dungeons that you're going to be able to get. So another option is boots of the Gladekeeper, which is from Mechanar again, but this time normal Mechanar. So this would be a lot easier to get than the pious ones. But we're going to actually go with the ones from the quest, because I think that that would be a good choice for this character, to take the one from the quest, because it's more or less going to just be an easy free upgrade, and there's nothing wrong with it at all. So we'll put those boots on now. And that's pretty much our character all dressed up. Not looking too good, to be fair, but I know we've got the weapon and offhand to do, but we'll come to that. So, rings. Again, there's loads of rings, so it was quite difficult to try and narrow it down to 3, because I like to just give 3, so pick the 2 out of 3 that will be, easiest to get for you. So I've gone for the first ring being revered with Threlmar or Honor Hold, so there's the Horde and Alliance equivalents there. This will probably be one of your rings, because you're going to get to revered, because you're going to want to get a key to be able to do heroics and all of that, so you're going to pick this up as one of them, I would imagine. The other 2 options I've gone for is Heroic Underbog, so Black Stalker, not too difficult of a heroic, so, again though, like I was saying about Mechadar heroic, it's largely going to come down to luck whether you get it or not, but you are playing a healer, so if it does drop, you should be the only one in the party who needs it, so it does increase your chances at least. And then you've got Celestial Jewel Ring. It's a really good ring, thought I'd mention it because it is just a quest in Neverstorm, so, that might be worth picking up while you're leveling, and then getting revered with Honor Hold or Threlmar, whichever faction you play, then you've got your 2 rings straight away, good enough to go in Kara. And then obviously one of them's going to be replaced with a Violet Signet ring anyway. So, yeah, pretty good. Then Trinkets. So, Essence of the Martyr, ultimately, you really want to spend your first 41 badges on this trinket because it's really good and it will last quite a while. So, yeah, really good. But another good option is just using Lower City Prayer Book, which is just Lower City Revered. Once again, you're going to be getting Revered with all these anyway, at least, probably Exalted over time. So, yeah, this is a solid trinket to pick up. And then, again, there's better than this, don't get me wrong, but the Oshugun Relic is still very good, to say that it comes from a very, very, very easy quest in Nagrand. So, you can pick this up in sort of 65, 66 quite comfortably, and then use it still in Karazhan until you replace it in there. So, solid trinket. Or you'll at least use it till you revert with Lower City and then replace it with a prayer book. But, yeah, worth making sure that you get the Gavaxi quest done to pick this up. Cool, then idols. Idols are a bit boring, to be fair. I mean, and it is very situational. It comes down to how you heal and what you want to use. So you got Idol of the Emerald Queen, which is from Shadow Labs, which is just your Life Bloom periodic healing, which is very nice. So that would probably be my preference, I would say, on idols as a Resto Druid. But then you've also got the Druid quest for your epic flight form. So it's a bit lackluster, but it's still quite a good trinket idol, because you can use it in all specs. It's got a bit of a bonus to all specs, but it's not great. I would still go with Idol of the Emerald Queen personally. And then you got Harold's Rejuvenation Brooch, which is literally from a Nagrand quest, and yeah, increases your rejuve healing. So if you're using rejuve a lot, which you probably will be, this could be good. So I'd be between Idol of Emerald Queen and the rejuve brooch, but it's going to be down to you what you use. You're going to probably get all of these anyway, so you'll just switch them out as and when required. Then weapons. So I've left off 2-handed weapons completely, because one-hand and off-hand provides the most plus healing. So, and that's what we want. We want plus healing. We want spirit, MP5, intellect. So we're going to go with what the best options are. We're not going to use a 2-hand when we can get far more healing from a 1-hand and an off-hand. So the 1-hands we've gone for are Hand of Eternity, which is a BOE, blacksmithing. It's ultimately the best you're going to get pre-raid, but it will be expensive. So if you want to spend the gold, absolutely do it, because it is very good. You will replace it in Karazhan, but if you're the sort of person who's got loads of gold, and then the weapon for it in Karazhan can go to one of the other healers who ain't minted like you are, then it's definitely worth picking up anyway. So it's only going to help your raid. Then you've got Gavel of Pure Light, which is the Shatar Exalted. I didn't really want to put this on here because it's Exalted with the Shatar, and I'm not sure that going for Exalted with the Shatar would be the best option when there's other options for weapons that are viable. I think you should be spending your time getting your reputations and stuff with other places. I think this could possibly take you away. It could slow your gearing speed up because you're just trying to get that one big weapon early. Wouldn't be my preference. I would go for the blacksmithing weapon. But then you've also got Hammer of the Penitent, so that's from Mechadar. So because it's only Mechanar normal, you can get the hammer and the other item, what we was talking about earlier. So the boots. So you can actually get the boots and a one-handed weapon, both from Mechanar. So might be worth, smashing that place till you get both of them. But for this, we're going to pretend we've got loads of money, and we're going to have to pretend because I'm poor in game. Probably just as poor in game as I am out of game. So, but we're going to go for Hand of Eternity anyway. Finally, a decent looking item. So yeah, pretty cool looking weapon to be fair. Finally, so offhands. So my advisement when we were talking about reputations and what ones you would farm, I would go Cenarian Expedition to get Earth Warden, but at the same time as getting Earth Warden, you're going to get this offhand, which is pretty much the best you can get before stepping into raids. And Cenarian Expedition is actually quite an easy one to get rep with, so or I feel it's easier than most. Then you got Tears of Heaven, which is 25 Badges of Justice. Solid choice, solid choice to spend those Badges of Justice on that you're earning. You're going to want the Trinket first, in my opinion. Then maybe you'll get this if you're not going to go Exalted with Cenarian Expedition, but obviously I'm just giving you options. Ultimately, Cenarian Expedition is what you're going to want to do. Or then you got the Lord Darren Medical Guide. So that's from Old Hillsbrad Foothills. There's other options out there, but this is like, personally, because it doesn't lack stats for a small amount of extra healing, that's why I've put it here. So this is personal preference. There are ones that provide more healing and less stats. I wanted to go for something well balanced, so a good amount of plus healing, but you're also getting those stats. So for this, we're gonna go with Windcaller's Orb because I think everyone should get that anyway. So that's it really. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. I couldn't wish for a better bunch of people to be chatting with in the comments every day. So keep it up. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe because there's going to be so much TBC content coming out. It is aimed more towards when WoW Classic goes into TBC, but it's perfectly viable to use all of this information I'm putting out for the Endless server as well, because that's where a lot of information is coming from anyway. So yeah, brilliant. And also make sure you catch me on Twitch, so name's down the bottom. I'm on streaming pretty much 7 nights a week at the moment, so yeah, I'll hopefully see you over there. And we're getting really close to this giveaway now, so a couple more 100 subscribers and somebody's going to bag themselves 3 months game time. Awesome. See you on the next one, which will be Balance Druid, and we'll finish off the Druid class. Peace out.